Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're jumping into a story that seriously has it all. Social media, huge scams, international politics, and a really fundamental question about the phone that's in your hand right now.
All right, so before we get started, just want to give a quick shout out. This entire breakdown is a special re-edit from the Sip&Talk podcast, and it's brought to you by our friends at Micky. We've basically boiled down a much longer conversation to get you the absolute essentials. So let's get right into the big question.
Okay, so this is the question that really gets the whole thing started, right? How on earth does an app that's all about makeup tips and cute travel spots suddenly become a national security threat? I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, but the story behind it is just wild.
So to get our heads around this, first we got to talk about the app at the center of all this drama.
Okay, so this app is called Xiaohongshu, which literally means little red book. And really the best way to think about it is like a mix of Instagram and Pinterest, but it's super focused on lifestyle, aesthetics, product recommendations. It's all about sharing that picture-perfect life.
And in Taiwan, this thing isn't just popular, it is a full-blown phenomenon. We're talking over 3 million users. For Gen Z, it's basically become their search engine. Yeah, forget Google. If you want to know how to do something, find a cool cafe, plan a trip, you look it up on Xiaohongshu. It's literally woven into the fabric of daily life for a whole generation.
Which is exactly why this announcement on December 4th, 2025 just sent massive shockwaves everywhere. The government just comes out and says, we're blocking it, nationwide, for a whole year. Just like that, this life hack engine was getting shut down. And of course, everyone was asking, why? What happened?
And the answer, well, the official reason anyway, it probably wasn't what you were thinking. It wasn't some big abstract thing about censorship or geopolitics. Nope, it was way more direct. The government built their whole case around this one idea: livelihood security. They kept saying, look, this isn't about controlling what you see, it's about protecting people from real, actual, tangible harm. And this is where they started dropping the numbers. They laid out the hard data, and it was pretty shocking. In just 2 years, the authorities confirmed over 1,700. Yeah, 1,706 separate cases of fraud that were directly tied to the app. This wasn't just a few bad apples. It was a serious pattern. And the amount of money people lost, it was absolutely staggering. We're talking 2.5 billion new Taiwan dollars. To put that in perspective, that's roughly 84 million US dollars. Gone, straight from the pockets of regular people. So yeah, this was a massive financial hit. And then there was the tech side of it. The government ran 15 different cybersecurity tests on the app, and it failed every single one. 15 out of 15. We're talking huge security holes, like asking for way too many permissions on your phone, potential backdoors, basically making it a playground for scammers. But here's the real kicker. When the cops tried to go after these scammers, they just hit a brick wall. Why? Because the platform had no legal presence, no representative, nothing in Taiwan. And this analogy just sums it up perfectly. It's like a restaurant deadbeat that eats a huge meal, makes all this money in your city, but when the bill comes, it says, sorry, I'm not officially registered here. You can't sue me. Okay, but you can probably guess, right? A move this big, this drastic, it wasn't going to happen without a fight. The ban immediately kicked off this massive debate, and it really split people down the middle. So you had one side saying, yes, finally, the government is doing its job. They were protecting people from fraud, closing this crazy legal loophole, and stopping potential data leaks. But the other side was freaking out, saying, whoa, this is a dangerous step towards censorship. They argued it would just force people to use VPNs, and, it sets a really bad precedent for the future. And this was their biggest weapon, the sharpest point in their argument: the accusation of a double standard. Critics were like, hold on a second, what about Facebook? What about Instagram? We all know those platforms have way more scams. So why aren't they being blocked? Was this really about fraud, or was it about where the app came from? And to even begin to answer that question, we have to pull back. We have to zoom out, because this isn't just a story about Taiwan and one little app. This is a snapshot of something that is happening all over the globe. I mean, just look at this. India has banned dozens of Chinese apps, saying it's about national sovereignty. The US is trying to ban or force the sale of TikTok, worried about data security and foreign influence. Even Nepal banned TikTok for social harmony. See? Every country has its own reason, but they're all wrestling with the exact same problem. How in the world do you regulate these incredibly powerful foreign apps? And this comparison between Taiwan and the US really makes the different motives super clear. Taiwan's move against Xiaohongshu, it's tactical. It's a direct response to a real immediate problem. People are losing their money and the company won't cooperate. It's about justice and the wallet. The US fight against TikTok, that's way more strategic. It's geopolitical. It's about worrying about election interference and a rival nation collecting massive amounts of data. So you see, same battlefield, but totally different fights.
So all of this, it brings us to the real big picture here. The whole nature of how these big ideological conflicts are fought, it's changing. It's moving from the world you can see and touch to the one right here, on your screen.
You know, back in the day, these battles were fought with loud, obvious declarations. Think about things like Anti-Communism Week proclamations. The message was loud, it was clear, it was top down. But that's just not how it works anymore.
The new way, it's so much more subtle, and this quote just nails it perfectly. The content on the app is like a sweet dessert. It's the beautiful travel photos, the fun life hacks, the cool videos. But the algorithm that's feeding it to you, the stuff it decides to censor, the cultural values it pushes, that's the hidden political agenda that you're digesting right along with it.
And that's the bottom line, isn't it? The front line in this new kind of war isn't some line on a map. It's the screen you're holding in your hand right now. And that leaves every single one of us with a really big question to think about. On this new battlefield, what are you defending? Is it your convenience, your personal data, your freedom to choose, or is it your security? So that's the essence of it. But believe me, there is so much more to this story. If you want to hear the full, in-depth conversation, you should absolutely subscribe to the Sip&Talk podcast. And you can find the link to Micky's channel right down in the description for even more great stuff. Thank you so much for watching.